Since September of this year, the West has stopped hiding its fatigue not only from the fighting in Ukraine, but also from the economic war against Russia. Moreover, Western countries have increasingly begun to say that Ukraine cannot win the current war, and that Zelensky should immediately start negotiations with Moscow before it is too late. In addition, the West has also recognized the fact that sanctions against a country as rich in natural resources as Russia, which also has a powerful scientific and economic base, are absolutely useless. Moreover, these sanctions have made Moscow even stronger, giving a powerful boost to the Russian economy. Against this background, more and more Western financial companies, including large banks, began to directly say that Russia had won the economic war by fully revealing its potential for further economic growth. At the International Cultural Forum, which was held from November 16 to 18 in St. Petersburg, Vladimir Putin made a sensational statement, in which he also recognized Russia's victory in the economic war against the West. So, according to him, the growth of Russian GDP over the past month amounted to 5.5%. At the same time, Vladimir Putin emphasized that the overall growth of the Russian economy for this year will be 3%. Earlier, Putin also said that despite the negative forecasts of numerous Western experts, Russia managed to enter the top 5 biggest world economies, taking a leading place among countries in terms of GDP by purchasing power parity. Meanwhile, the French asset management company, Amundi, which is the largest in Europe, has presented an official economic forecast for 2024. According to this forecast, the GDP of the European Union will almost completely stop its growth, while the GDP of Russia will accelerate its growth by 3 times. It is reported that the growth of the Russian GDP in 2024 will be 1.5%, while the GDP of the European Union will not exceed 0.5%. At the same time, the French asset management company directly stated that it was Western sanctions that made the Russian economy not only strong, but also flexible. Turkey and the BRICS countries also benefited from these Western sanctions against Russia. In its report, the French company also noted one very interesting fact. According to it, the only side that suffered the most from Western sanctions against Russia was Europe, while the United States did not receive significant damage. Well, my friends, in general, you can agree with the conclusions of the French company. However, I would not argue that the United States has not suffered at all from these sanctions. Yes, from the point of view of the economic situation, the United States, unlike Europe, did not suffer. However, do not forget that it was Western sanctions that gave impetus to the formation of not only a strong Russian economy, but also significantly intensified the process of disintegration of the unipolar world. All this will negatively affect not only the US economy in the long term, but also significantly reduce Washington's weight in the global arena. Moreover, current events have also revealed the absence of the real sector of the economy in the United States, which makes Washington critically dependent on countries such as China and Russia. At the moment, the US authorities are trying to revive the real sector of the economy in the country, but this process, due to its complexity, may take decades. Washington has recognized the critical dependence of the United States on the supply of enriched uranium from Russia. According to reports, it will take the United States about 30-40 years to recover the lost uranium enrichment technology, and thereby, put an end to dependence on Russia. Meanwhile, a well-known expert in the field of energy, Javier Blas, confirmed that economic sanctions have had a positive impact on Moscow, and that the Russian economy will grow rapidly in the coming years. At the same time, the expert admitted that the European industry, as a result of this economic war, was completely destroyed. According to him, at the moment, European factories are operating at only 65%, and this indicator will decrease with each new month and year. Well, my friends, as they say, they ended up with what they had been striving for.